Headline from the Wall Street Journal: Opioid crackdown has patients struggling to get their meds. Joining us now, Fox News medical correspondent Dr. Marc Siegel. So let me get this right, that we are prescribing far fewer opioids and making it very difficult to get opioids, and that's leaving some people who desperately need them out in the cold. Do you see it that way?
I see the last part of that. I agree with the last part of that, that there are people in the world that have chronic pain syndromes that nothing else works for but opioids, that in some states are having more trouble getting it. But in this state, I don't see a problem with this. And as a matter of fact, I talked to one of the directors of our Cancer Institute at New York University this morning who said he is not having trouble prescribing opioids for patients with cancer.
But in some states you could.
You could, but here's the problem with this headline. It makes it seem like the bigger problem is people who can't get the opioids, when the bigger problem is still, even if we've cut down 5 to 10%, the bigger problem is still, did you need the opioids in the first place? Some of the people that are using them that say they need them, maybe a doctor could have prescribed something else in the first place, and physicians overprescribed opioids. And the bigger problem we've talked about on the show is they then ends up oftentimes in the hands of someone other than whom they were intended. We don't do pill counts, and that person, maybe a teen, ends up on heroin.
You've said on this program that there is an alternative to opioids for people who suffer from chronic pain, but there are some chronic pain sufferers who do need opioids.
Completely
All
agree.
accurate?
Completely agree. And I also want to add that the NIH and other places are working on new pain medications all the time that are less addictive. So there's a future for that as well.
Okay.
But we have to watch out for those who really need, no question.
All right, Doctor, on the program just the other day, we had actor Jeremy Miller. I want to run a soundbite from the interview that we did with him about his experience using an implant to treat his alcoholism. Roll tape.
Within hours, I started noticing the effects. And what you notice is what's not there. That constant, obsessive need, it just kind of vanished. I mean, it was like a light switch got turned off for me.
Now, this was an implant inside him that released a small amount of a drug on a regular basis that cut his craving for alcohol. Seems to me like a pretty good thing.
Couple of points. The drug is called naltrexone. As he said to you on the show yesterday, it's been around a long time. This implant will work 3 to 6 months. It doesn't work for everyone. It works for some people who have alcoholism, like he dramatically said. It works for some people on opioids as well. FDA hasn't approved the device, but all the parts of the device are approved. FDA is now looking at it. In other words, so you can use it even without FDA approval off-label. They're looking at formally approving it.
So what you're really looking for is a drug that can be implanted and released very gradually that works for everyone. That's what you're really looking for.
Yes, yes, and you and I discussed this. I think we're both excited about the concept of an implant that gradually, as he made this point, gradually releases the treatment so the side effects are less. A little bit of irritability, a little bit of nausea, but he tolerated it better than he would of an oral medication. I think the future of treating addiction is going to include devices like this. There is no question about it. He's at the forefront.
So the implant idea is the best idea, is it?
It is a great idea.
That's progress.
It's huge progress. I think this one works. I think this is very exciting. What it actually delivers, whether it's naltrexone or whether it's Suboxone, whatever it is that it delivers, it goes right to the source of the problem. Addiction centers in the brain. Absolutely right.
It certainly worked for that young man.
Very exciting.
It was inspiring, frankly. Dr. Siegel, thanks very much.
Thanks, Stuart.